Hello, what is up? It is time for us to do another Pantheon 5 run, and today we are using the Slugpup skin, which is basically the dude from Rain World. We are as usual using the setup of Mark of Pride, Quick Slash, Unbreakable Strength, Steady Body and Nailmaster's Glory, my favorite setup. And let's see how our dude from Rain World does. As always, if you enjoy my content, please like, subscribe and support my channel. It helps a lot. Thanks. Ow. The attack animation is quite cute. The cyclone is cute. But I do not see anything interesting with the spells. No. Oh, but the soul gauge is kinda cute if you look at the top left corner. Looks more like Slugpup and less like a mask of the night. So that's pretty cool. La 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 la. Sha. 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 There we go. Ascend with go, guys. Ascend. Go. Strongest boss in the game. Oh, he closes his eyes when he looks down? Oh, that's cute. I like that. Bafunde indeed. Bafunde indeed. I agree. Bafunde, bafunde. Ow. Very nice.
Yes.
Okay. Remember, these runs are mostly for fun. We're not trying to do a hitless run. We still wanna beat the Pantheon, obviously, but there is no rush and there is no... It's not that important if we take one or more or 5 or more even hits, as long as we win. That's also what I advise to people who haven't beaten Pantheon 5 yet. I know there are a lot of players who haven't beaten Pantheon 5, some even haven't even beaten Pantheons before it, like Pantheon 3, which is also quite hard because of Zod, and some have trouble with Sly, although it's not really that hard if you learn the fight and don't just face tank. But my general advice is don't play too tryhard when it's the first time you're trying to beat Pantheon 5. Go as far as you can in the Pantheon. Once you get to a boss that's hard for you, go and practice it in the Hall of Gods. That's what the Hall of Gods is there for. To practice so you can beat the Pantheons. And just repeat the process and do it slowly. There's no rush to beat Pantheon 5. It is one of the hardest gaming challenges that I know of. That's why I love it so much. Because it's hard, but it's also well made. So yeah, that's my advice. I hope you will follow it. And if not, that's okay as well. I just want you to get some information while you're being entertained by my gameplay and looking at this cute skin. Actually a really cute skin. I was hoping for more animations and stuff like that, but even without more animations, I still find it very, very cute. Okay, against the Blobbles you really wanna use nail arts a lot, because they give you a lot of range. And yeah, you don't wanna use those shrieks like I did now, but it's just for the... I don't know. For the moment, I don't know. One thing I do hope in Silk Song, whenever it releases, that we won't have this kind of boss fights like Blobbles, like Gru's Mother, because it's really not that interesting to fight something that just floats around and shoots randomly. It's not interesting. But Sisters of Battle is a whole other thing. Dosa. Also, if you're still watching at this point, which is very good, happy you're enjoying. I did shorten my intro this video in hope that we get into the action straight away. and, you know. Try to include my intro with the first boss fight. Let me know if you like that better. I expect you do, but if you don't, that's okay. As well, I do use the same charm setup every run because I really enjoy this setup, and also sadly in Hollow Knight most of the charms are not that great for combat anyway. You can think about Shaman Stone as a really good alternative for some of the charms that I'm using, but besides that, there aren't really good combat charms. If you want to go for healing, the healing setups are objectively, I think, bad. Quick focus and deep focus and all that stuff. And so you find yourself usually with a strong nail build like this one with quick slash. And also you need to remember about quick slash is not only you get higher DPS, which is half of the fun and strength, let's call it, but quick slash also charges your soul meter much faster. So the combination of these things really makes quick slash probably the best charm in the game, and therefore every build with quick slash is probably either very good or, I don't know, extremely good, or S tier or A++ tier.
Yes.
I also enjoy using Steady Body. Steady Body works really well with quick slash. Oops.
Bam. Final.
Steady Body with quick slash is actually a really good combination for even more DPS, because then you don't get pushed back every time you hit with the nail. You can just stand there and hit. And the only problem I have with Steady Body is once you get used to it, it's very hard to play without it. For example, when I did my hitless run on the Pale Court Pantheon, the Champion's Call, I didn't have enough room in my charms to add Steady Body. And every time I hit, I got pushed back, so I had to get used to it after a long time of not using it. I still got the run, I still got hitless Champion's Call, but it was kinda tricky to get used to the knockback. So yeah, my suggestion is use Steady Body, as it is amazing. It's not only a good tool for dealing more damage, it's also a good tool for dodging damage. As without getting pushed back when you hit, it's much easier to dodge things and much easier to place yourself in a good position. If you watched other videos of mine, I talk a lot about spacing in Hollow Knight and how almost no one talks about spacing. But spacing is the most important thing in Hollow Knight combat. You want good spacing between you and your opponent. That's why I also use Mark of Pride, while others use Long Nail, because getting that range allows you to space really well against your opponents. Doesn't matter if it's a boss, doesn't matter if it's a small enemy. It's just more flexibility in your positioning, and your positioning is really important. So yeah, Steady Body also helps with that. The only, as I said, the only thing is you need to get used to it. It took me some time to get used to it. It also took me a while to learn how to use nail outs properly and how to get used to using them in multiple fights. Grim is a great example for why nail outs are so good. Not only this Grim, but also Nightmare King Grim. He should be dead really soon. Nice. If you guys want any tips about any boss, please let me know. I literally know all the bosses, I know all the moves, so feel free to ask me anything about Pantheon 5, about bosses. This is definitely my favorite part of the game. I think Team Cherry made an amazing boss rush in these Pantheons. The only complaint I have, the one complaint I have, is that Pantheon 5 is just too long. It's just too long. I don't think a 40-minute session, and that's if you're experienced, I don't think that makes any sense. Yeah, it's a great challenge to beat, and less than 5% of players on Steam beat Pantheon 5. But I think it's mostly because of how long it takes and not because of how hard it is. That's what I think. Ah, I missed. And like, I don't mind running Pantheon 5 again and again, because I enjoy it, but I'm just imagining basically anyone just fighting things like False Knight again and again to reach absolute radiance at the end. I think it's just a waste of time. I think the Pale Court expansion Pantheon is much better because it's much shorter and the bosses are much harder. So like, that could be a really nice way to solve the problem instead of just doing Pantheon of Hello Nest and fight every boss in the game, because that's really like pointless. Especially when you already fought a lot of them, or most of them, in the previous Pantheons. So now you need to go through everything? It's kinda tedious, in my opinion. And again, because I love Hollow Knight and I love Pantheon 5 and I love God Home, I don't care running this. I'm also very experienced, so for me, finishing Pantheon 5 is not hard, but the first time that I finished it, it was hard. So yeah, hopefully Silksong has Pantheons, but not this long. Because that would be... that would just be too much. Remember your brothers. Hegale! Adidas! I thought she would die already, that's why I went in like that. Well, not die, but you know, be defeated. But it was 2 hits away instead of 1 hit away. Very sad. Also things like Enraged Guardian is basically Crystal Guardian but double damage, I don't like that. And us having to fight both of them in Pantheon 5 is really redundant. It doesn't add anything. Or Broken Vessel and Lost Kin. Ow. Like this Pantheon could have easily started from Winged Nosk or something, or just include the new bosses from the Pantheon, like Sisters of Battle. Sisters of Battle, Winged Nosk, and then go straight into the hard bosses, you know? So Lost Kin and White Defender and Soul Tyrant, Markoth, all of that. But instead, you have to go through all of those pushover bosses just to get to the finale. It's pretty bad. So yeah, hopefully the endgame content for Silksong will be different. And hopefully we get a release date soon, cause I don't know how many more hours I'm supposed to play Hollow Knight. I'm already very close to 1000 hours. Also, you need to remember that playtime includes idle time, so it's time that you're taking a break and times that the game is just running in the background but you're not using it, times when you're, I don't know, standing somewhere and doing nothing. So that's a lot of time wasted. So I don't know how much of the 900 hours I have is actual gameplay. The most of it probably, but still maybe 10 or 20% is idle time. Also, one of the hardest bosses for me in my first run was Lost Kin and Nightmare King Grim. So both of these might be a lot of the time. I think Nightmare King Grim, the first time I beat it, took like 4 or 5 hours to figure out and beat. I also didn't have the fully upgraded nail. I didn't have pure nail, so the fight was prolonged. I also didn't use spells back then, so another reason for that fight to just be unnecessarily prolonged. Pom 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 pom. Ow. Riba Makta.
Bill, mine. Bill, mine. Bill, mine.
Easy, hitless Markoth. Easy. Okay, he's almost dead. I also said in my guide that after 2 staggers, he's almost dead. And he is. You can also spam D-Darks after the second stagger. Also works well. A lot of the things that you see that I'm already have muscle memory for, this fight is a good example. And how I'm using Cyclone. These are things that I've learned during the Pantheon 5 all bindings that I did. Because in all bindings you have to use nail outs. You can't use regular nail hits because it just doesn't deal enough damage. Cyclone is insanely powerful and very underutilized in Hollow Knight. A lot of people just never use it, and it's extremely powerful. But I think it's also the game's fault, because outside of boss fights there really is no usage for Cyclone. If there were like in the world of Hallownest specific places that Cyclone would be used and would be very helpful, I think people would use it more, but since there isn't, it kinda comes down to what the player decides to do. Because a lot of players would just resort to standing in place and hitting with the nail instead of using a Cyclone, which I understand. But I think Cyclone still has more DPS than that. And so I would advise on using nail outs and utilizing them, because they are amazing. Okay, you hear the heart beating faster. That means that our boy NKG is close to dead. Close. And he's dead. And here we are in the final frontier against the 2 hardest bosses in the game, probably. Maybe people will say that Pure Vessel is not that hard, I don't know, but Absolute Radiance is definitely a very hard boss. Ow. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Ow, oops. So yeah, as I say in my guide, when we get to this phase, you want to start using your shriek, your spells, because this phase is a little bit more dangerous. You want to rush to get to the falling daggers phase. Yeah, I shouldn't have jumped there, but yeah, you want to get to this phase because this phase is much less dangerous and much easier to deal with. That's why you use shrieks there. Shriek is the up spell, in case you're wondering. Up and spell button. Or focus button. Depends on how you bind your keys. As I said before, this attack is the best attack in this phase, the sunrays attack, because it's easier to position yourself and to counter attack after it. This one is probably the worst. Yeah, but this one is the best because look at how much damage I can put while that attack is occurring and the climb begins. And as I said about the climb, what's the most important thing is to not wait. You just need to go. Go, 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 go. And yeah, I understand that this 420 no scope is annoying, these lasers, but you just need to get used to the rhythm of them, and then it becomes easier. I'm not saying you're never gonna get hit, but when you do it faster, there's less chance to get hit. Okay, thank you guys for watching. Again, if you enjoyed my content, please like, comment, subscribe, engage with the video, share it with your friends, and let me know if there's anything else you want to see regarding Hollow Knight and Pantheon 5. GutenChad out.